What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our late news video here on Anfield Agenda, where we have a bit of an interesting topic to discuss around Douglas Luiz. I'm going to move on to him and a few other bits and pieces regarding Virgil van Dijk's contract situation, a player who has departed Liverpool, and what is likely to happen with Mohamed Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold. So, I'm not going to hang around because I do have a lot to get stuck into, but as always, I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. Drop a like if you enjoy it, and you know the rest. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. So let's start off, I guess, with the updates that we've got around Virgil van Dijk's situation. So obviously, I've been keeping my ear to the ground, trying to reach out to people to find out the few bits and pieces that I can. But Lewis Steele has reported today everything that I've heard points to the fact that Virgil van Dijk will end up signing a new deal. It's just about getting the paperwork and finding an agreement on the fee. And I think him and Salah, the big issues will be around the length of a contract, if there are any issues to be had there. That backs up my own information that I've received today around Virgil. I do think Virgil is the one that will be done first. With regards to Mohamed Salah, I think, again, you can see this being played out publicly, and I'm going to move on now to speak about that from the context of Sky Sports and Jamie Carragher and Mohamed Salah. You've probably seen the exchange on Twitter where Sky Sports posted about Jamie Carragher giving his view on the contract situation and why he thinks that Mohamed Salah should have taken a leaf out of Virgil van Dijk's book in the way that he's handled it. Mohamed Salah replied then by quote tweeting it, saying, "I think that you're obsessed with me." And then CARRA replied back saying, "Of course I'm obsessed with you, Mo, and I'm hoping to still be obsessed with you next season," or something along those lines. So it was an interesting exchange, but it kind of got me thinking. Virgil has played an absolute blinder for me in the way he's handled all of this. I think he's been a model pro, and I think the club should reward that by him being the first one to get the contract sorted, and I think it will be. Salah, again, I think it will happen, but I don't know when. There's still some work to be done there. But with Trent Alexander-Arnold, there's definitely been a growing frustration in the footballing world that this hasn't been resolved, not just from Liverpool. And you've seen Henry Winter and others say today that it just needs to be moved along at this point, and everybody needs to know what they're dealing with. So I do think all three of these will know what's happening one way or the other before the end of January. Two of them I feel really optimistic on, Virgil and Mo. With Trent, your guess is honestly as good as mine at this point. I want to move on to something that the Daily Express reported, though, and I haven't forgotten about Douglas Luiz. Don't worry, we're getting there in a moment. Jurgen Klopp's sudden departure, reports the Daily Express, rocked Trent Alexander-Arnold to the point where he immediately started considering his future at his boyhood club, and Klopp was excellent at getting the best out of Trent. I think with this situation, the will he won't he part is boring at this point. He needs to just make his mind up and decide what he wants to do. We know of the offers from both sets. Big Madrid offer, big Liverpool offer, similar wages. It's time to make your mind up and tell the public what's going to happen. But I don't want to dwell too much on Trent because we've spoken about him a lot over the last few days. I want to move on to one player who is departing Liverpool, and that is Marcelo Pitaluga. He has left the club and will join Fluminense on a permanent basis. The Brazilian rejoins his former club. Liverpool have got no transfer fee from this. It is waiting for international clearance for it to go through, but Liverpool do have a 40% sell-on clause there. If Fluminense do cash in on Pitaluga in the future, Liverpool should receive a few quid there. Now, Carragher believes that this month there is one position that Liverpool need to strengthen in, and he doesn't think the same one as me. He doesn't think it's midfield. For Jamie Carragher, he thinks elsewhere. This is what he's had to say. "I still think Liverpool are the best team in this league. They've got more goals in this team and more attacking talent than Arsenal. If you're Arsenal, watching Liverpool play against United, you would think that this will give you a bit of a lift. People say Arsenal need to sign a goal scorer. Liverpool need to sign a full-back in January. A left-back, Trent was poor today. Conor Bradley came in. I think Andy Robertson, absolute legend, loved him to bits, is just hanging on, and Costas isn't quite the standard to come and replace him. If Liverpool could get a left-back in January, that would put them in a strong position to go and win the league." Now, on what to expect in the January window, I don't like to throw around the word opportunistic again, but I do feel like it is a fitting one here. As an example, I know that the club are open to offers for Darwin Nunez, and any offers around €50 million upwards would be taken seriously. So if AC Milan put the cards on the table there and make an offer, then I can see a world where Liverpool go to try to bring in another attacker. So as I've said, it's opportunistic, but it would also make sense. The reason you won't see Liverpool looking to move if Darwin doesn't get sold this winter is because we just don't have the squad space. Chiesa's agent has also come out and denied any rumours of him going back to Italy, saying that his focus is staying with Liverpool, that he won't be going back over to Italy, and that he will hope to break into more match day and first team squads or appearances very soon now that he's back fit. So I guess all of this is leading us to the thumbnail and the big news of this evening, which is that apparently Juventus are open and considering offers for Douglas Luiz for either loans or loans with an obligation. And honestly, if Zubamendi isn't showing a desire to come or that isn't already sewn up, I've got to say I think we should be all over this one. Initially I'd said on my stream tonight I wasn't so sure about it, but the more I thought about it, it could be an absolute best of both worlds scenario. It could absolutely give Ryan Gravenberch the ability to get some time away. We know he's the player that is Premier League tried and tested. You do have to look at the age side of this, of course, as well, but it depends on the money involved in it, because he is a good player. On his day, we know that. He's a Brazilian international, plenty of pedigree in the Premier League with Aston Villa as well, so this could be an interesting one. Anything Liverpool posted to say he's very open to returning to the Premier League and Juventus are considering loan or obligation offers should Liverpool be all over this, and I'm going to say yes. I would bring him in if there was an option, and Zubamendi, as an example, wasn't available, because I think he could do a very good job in our midfield, even if it is on a rotational basis to give Gravenberch a bit of breathing room or a bit of space. So be interesting to see how this evolves over the next few days. So I want to know what you guys are thinking. If we can't get Zubamendi, as an example, in January, do you think Douglas Luiz should be considered? Now, what I don't know in this scenario, of course, is what the manager would think about this situation. I don't know if he would look at Douglas Luiz and think maybe not the right type of player for us, but I think it's an interesting one. One more story before I finish up comes from Ficajes in Spain, and they suggest that Liverpool are ready to table an offer for Aurelien Tchouameni, an offer that totals 50 million. I think it's going to be 15 million up front and 35 million next year. I don't believe it, to be honest with you. We know Tchouameni doesn't suit the way Arne Slot wants to play. I don't know about Douglas Luiz is the answer, but with him, I don't think there's any truth to this. I think Liverpool's name has been used to try and drum up interest in a player that is probably surplus the requirements there at Real Madrid. So that's pretty much where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. The preview for the Spurs game will be coming out tomorrow. There'll be a news video in the afternoon and one in the evening, but there won't be any live stream tomorrow as I am taking the day off to get a bit of rest. I will catch up with you guys soon. Much love as always. Thank you for everything. It's been one hell of a year that we finished up with, and hopefully a great 2025 ahead. So thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Much love. Bye-bye.